This is the Wheatstone Broadcasting Corporation.
Scott Fybush from Wheatstone, and we are here at the HD Radio booth, which is under new ownership this year. Jeff Detweiler is with us. I was going to say from Ubiquity, but I guess now we say from DTS, right?
That's right, Scott. In October, DTS acquired Ubiquity Digital, and so DTS is now the owners of HD Radio Technology. We're excited about the change. There's going to be a major push here on global expansion of HD Radio technology, along with all of the other DTS services. So I would look for that in this coming year, and we're pretty excited about the opportunities with the new company.
I want to talk a little bit, first of all, about monitoring, about some of the technologies that you have available now to help broadcasters keep a better eye on what they're putting out, make sure everything is time-aligned, level-aligned, all of that good stuff. What's new this year?
Well, to that point, there's over 29 million vehicles already in the marketplace. So in some of the major markets, we're seeing 1 in 5 vehicles on the road with HD radio technology. So the listener percentages and numbers are starting to get really significant. So paying attention to time, level alignment, making sure that program service data and features like that are available is becoming more and more important. So we have a couple of new products that are being introduced at the show here. We have one which was introduced last year, but for the most part, we're really seeing it rolling out now. So we have from DeSequera, we have the M4 DDC, the M4 2SI. From Innovonics, we have the Justin 808 and the Bellar FM HD1. The difference between the categories of the products, the M4 DDC and the Justin 808 actually correct the AES audio time alignment, as opposed to the M4 2SI and the Bellar FM HD1, which send correction information to outboard systems, whether that be the audio processing or an exporter. So, great new products. These keep radio stations within a sample on the audio alignment. And as you can see here, we've got an example of one that's not really doing quite well. This one has a number of problems with it, and we're starting to be able to characterize visually with the graphing that's offered by these products. You're able to diagnose a problem. So this is sort of like, the heart monitor for the radio station.
So if I'm a broadcaster, what am I looking at here?
Well, there's a couple things I can see by this. So what we're seeing over time here is a lot of shifts. So this radio station is using not a dual output processor, but 2 separate audio processors that are configured differently. So we see a lot of group delay change because of the different filtering in the system. That slope that you saw is an indication that the time alignment is drifting. So likely the exporter and XGen are not receiving a common clock. Now you can solve that problem by co-locating the systems and using a common time reference or GPS locking each end. So this is a good mess that we're looking at.
And of course, on the user end, the idea is to provide a seamless experience. If they're getting into a car and don't even know what HD radio is, if they've never used it before, you want to make sure they're not hearing the audio jump when it goes from analog to HD.
That's correct.
You want to be sure they're getting the right graphics up there, right?
Well, diversity delay is a great feature as long as it's set up correctly. Now, if it's not, it's a tremendous annoyance, and what we're trying to avoid is having JD Power scores impacted by poor performance. We want HD radio to be a technology that every automotive manufacturer wants across their entire product line. And here we have Subaru, which has introduced it across their entire line. Toyota has it in many of their vehicles today. We have Artist Experience. We have live Doppler weather radar. All of this stuff is really pretty cool. And, having that in a car is, I think, a pretty exciting innovation.
We're going to see more integration into other devices going forward, too?
Yeah, we all know we need to be into mobile devices, and that work's going on. We have prototypes of chipsets supporting HD radio in cell phones. So, look for that in the future.
I want to ask you, too, we've been talking with some broadcasters this week about AM revitalization. Of course, DTS filed comments about the expanded band, looking at this idea of trying to go to more all-digital operation on AM. What sort of advantages do you think that would bring to the broadcast community?
Well, certainly, as we all know, it's an issue of physics. So, nighttime always tends to be a challenge, but during daytime operation, the all-digital system just performs flawlessly. It's really quite exciting. And I know that Al Schuldner, our general counsel, had filed comments for the company with regards to all-digital, and his approach was to look at the expanded band because it's a relatively controlled environment and a good way to introduce the concept to the market. But I also heard yesterday over in the Nautel booth that Chuck Kelly threw down the gauntlet, challenging the industry to look at all digital broadcasting, not only for AM but for FM as well.
Jeff Detweiler from Ubiquity. Let's take a walk over and we'll look at some of the products on the other side here.
Sounds great. So, Scott, over here on this side, these are Spark products, and these are products that were developed by our former company and now under the DTS brand. The Spark product and Insignia products, this offers the broadcaster the ability to promote the HD2 and HD1 channels utilizing a tabletop radio or even, cute little portable devices like this, as well as the TX1. The TX1 is an interesting radio. It supports our active alerts, which is the HD radio side of emergency alerts. So it's a receiver which will wake up in a marketplace on an alert, convey that information, then turn itself off again. And it's constantly scanning the band looking for that information.
Tornado country, that could be a very big deal, flash flooding,
we think it's
earthquakes.
an exciting addition to the technology. And the best part is it's at zero cost. All you need to do is make sure that your ComLabs or Sage NDEC are on the latest firmware. You point the IP address to the exporter and it sends the information. So pretty easy, almost painless. So Scott, we had talked a little bit about the HD radio monitoring network, and here is a map of the locations where we're currently deployed with the monitoring. Last year at the show, I think we had about 26 on. We're up to 50 markets now.
It's growing.
And we include Canada and Mexico in this equation as well. So if we go over here to the market list, I can bring up, let's say, should we take a look at Las Vegas since we're here?
Since we're right here, sure.
So what we're able to see on our list is the status of the radio station. So it's listed by the frequency and the call signs. We have analog, digital signal, HD radio presence, and then the condition on time alignment. So we have three icons that display that information. Time shown with a clock, the volume knob for level, and a phase symbol here for the station AES phase. We also then have indicators whether HD1, HD2, 3, or 4 are being broadcast, and whether traffic services are being broadcast in the market as well. So let's just pick a radio station here. Let's look at KOMP. Here's a radio station quite nicely within one sample on the audio alignment. I can go in and look at trends for time alignment, so you can see that the greatest excursion was 3 samples at any one point. And we're also able to look at the level alignment trends for that radio station throughout the day. So this is, once again, much like the monitoring direct monitoring equipment we looked at previously. It's a way for us to use some of these diagnostics on the radio station, and we think it's pretty useful for us. We're now working and meeting with the NAB Radio Tech Committee, developing a program on what we should share and with whom. So we want to help the industry, but we don't want to annoy the industry.
Sure.
So how do we become, a useful participant in that process?
So you've deployed monitoring stations of your own in each of these markets?
Yeah, these are out at all the media monitor sites, and as you probably are familiar with. So these sites are where we have HD radio receivers. They are in two units in a rack. They basically cycle through and alternate back and forth and do 15-minute dwells on stations, and we pull about 300 operating parameters on each radio station. So this is just kind of the high level. If we see that there's a problem, we can go deeper and take a look, and we're trying to be helpful to the industry in solving problems.
Excellent. Jeff Detweiler from DTS, thank you so much.
Scott, thanks for having me.